Carmine first attracted attention as a member of the famed Toronto Metros Croatia team that won the NASL Championship in 1976. He appeared in 23 games that year. However, he missed the 1977 NASL season before signing for Washington Diplomats in 1978. Following 3 outstanding years in Washington, he moved on to play for the Montreal Manic from 1981 to 1983, and when that franchise folded, he played the 1984 season for the New York Cosmos. He played a total of 173 regular season games in the NASL and scored 6 goals. He also played in 18 playoff games. Upon retirement, he became a soccer TV analyst, commentating on the Italian League games televised on Sunday mornings in Toronto. 2014 player inductee, Carmine Marcantonio.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the Hall of Fame, Carmine Marcantonio.
I'm nervous. I worked on TV, as you heard from the video there, and in front of a camera, even though there's maybe thousands of people following, you don't get nervous, but I'm nervous tonight. Whoop. And the fellow, I like to call them not soccer players, footballers. We are footballers. We kick the ball. We don't handle the ball, except for the goalies. So anyhow, people know that before a big game, I used to get, the chills in my stomach. And sure enough, I had to go to the washroom. It's all almost getting the same feel. But bear with me because English is still my second language. So I'm still thinking in Italian and trying to express my emotion, my feelings in English. So if I make some mistakes, please forgive me. I want to start with, I've attended a few of these events, and actually this is my second time around. I'm very proud of being inducted the first time about Robbie Yarushi, was it 3 years ago with, you saw the Metros Croatia Championship in 1976, my rookie year, playing alongside the great Eusebio. He's looking up, from up in heavens because he was an amazing player, but he was an amazing human being. And so I'm so proud of that moment because soccer, football, is a team sport. And that recognition to have won one of the few championships in Toronto, other than, I think we were, the Leafs, I don't know, I can't remember the last time they won. Jerry, what? 67. I wasn't in this country, so I didn't experience that. Then we were the first one, really, after the Leafs in 76. And then, obviously, the Blue Jays, and that's about it, right? Last winners? Oh, the Argonauts. Okay, the Argonauts. Okay, I forgot. But that's another football. But that's okay. That's one you handle, you don't kick. I don't know why they call that football, though. But anyhow, how appropriate tonight, really. I mean, I was really crying because I'm very emotional. And if my dad was here, an immigrant from Castel di Sangro, 6,000 souls in the center of Italy, if he was here, he'd be crying. Unfortunately, Mom and Dad cannot be here, and I'm sorry for them because of health issues. My dad is 88, he's very healthy. Mom has got some issues. But anyhow, I got my sister-in-law videotaping this, and so I think they'll cry at home. Now, how appropriate tonight, though, that we got native Indians, and I really was crying, very emotional. Native Indians and a new immigrant in this country, and we all celebrating the beautiful game of football. And, 1989, your ancestor, that was a football player, what was that? 1889. and so that's almost a century, more than a century ago, but and with a new Canadian. So before I forget though, I made all kinds of notes, and you know what? So much for the notes. Before I forget, I want to just thank some people that are very special to me. And before I thank those people, I don't want to forget the Board of Governors that made this happen. It means a lot to me, but more than that, it means a lot to my family and friends. So I want to thank you for McGrain and all the board, and John Knox, being the chair, and everybody in that board, Les Wilson, Bobby Arushi. Thank you for making this happen for me. Do I deserve it? Well, I guess I do if I'm up here. And now I want to say the thanks first before I forget, because there's some very special people tonight that, I'm very honored and humbled that, these people are here with, first of all, you people. I want to thank you for all coming tonight. This is very special to me, and I want to get an applause to yourself for being here tonight. Please. And I want to start with that group of people. Some of them are golf players, my golf mates. I took golf now. And I play golf. And my soccer players from the age of 14, the Toronto Azzurri boys, they're a brotherhood of mine, because football does that. It becomes, we're all a family, a fraternity of footballers here that love the game and have passion for the game. So I want to thank you, the Toronto Azzurri, for coming out in force. And I want to thank my family over there. And I'm not going to name each one of them, but I'm going to name, because, the female, the daughter, is always special. She's in England, in London, teaching. And, Sarah will be here, but she's here in spirit. So I want to thank all of you, Sarah. Above all, I want to thank my wife, Geraldine, of many years, and she's the anchor, like every woman. She's the anchor and the rock of my family. Like they say, for every big man, I'm not that big, but for every big man, there's a bigger woman. So there is. Believe me, you all know that. Paul, you know that.
Newly inducted into the Soccer Hall of Fame, Carmine Marcantonio. Carmine, what a day, what an honor it is for you. What's going through your mind these last couple days here in the Hall of Fame festivities?
Well, I'm very humbled and feel very privileged that they picked me to be in the Canadian Hall of Fame. I think at the end it becomes one thought. It's a coronation of a dream, and a dream of a young boy that hails from Abruzzi, from Castel di Sangro in Italy, and came to this lovely, beautiful country of ours, Canada, the great wide north, at age 14. And his dream was to play for Juventus and be the next Omar Sivori, the great Argentinian that played in the 60s. Well, guess what? He didn't do it in Italy with Juventus, being Omar Sivori. He was just Marcantonio played a great career with the Cosmos, with the Blizzard, the Metros Croatia, and Toronto Italia, Toronto Azzurri, with Beckenbauer, Eusebio, teammate of Eusebio, and the late Eusebio and Cruyff. So at the end of the day, this is a coronation of that dream that came true.
Carmen, so many memories. I'm sure you have many, many memories, but we don't have so much time to give them all out. Give us a memory or two that sticks out in your mind of a championship maybe that you won, or a game that was really in your mind still today that you'll never forget.
Well, two things. One is when I turned pro in 1976, my first professional game with Metros Croatia, Yankee Stadium. And I stepped into the field, and across me there was Pelé, the great Ore, the king. And you know, for somebody that at that time was age 20, and being on the same field, even though as an opponent against Pelé, that was for me just the dream I told you that came true. And then the championship with Metros Croatia in 1976. That also comes as a first and as a great memory. And having played alongside Cruyff in Washington, D.C., one of the greatest, and for me was an inspiration.
Carmen, you love this city, you love this country dearly. You and many others have watched the struggles of Canada in the last number of years. You've played so many important games, as you said, in the North American Soccer League. You've played with Canadians, Americans, Europeans. In your mind, Carmen, what needs to change for the better for this country that so many other Canadians can be inducted into the Hall of Fame like yourself and go on to success?
Yeah, Anthony, that's a good question, and it's $1 million question. One of my dreams as an adult, I'll be 60 soon, and hopefully that dream will be realized also before I die, is to see Canada become one of the power of CONCACAF. When I was playing, Canada was around the 60th in FIFA ranking. Now we're 120 plus. So that's not, the status quo is not good. I think that we Canadian that love football, I like to call it football, not soccer. We that love football, we gotta be the first one to promote the game and market the game. And the CSA has to step out, and the OSA, all the people that govern this game have to see outside the box and see how we're gonna develop Canadian talent. I mean, that's what we need to do. It's not a magic formula. We need to basically invest into the game, get corporate Canada involved because it takes money. At the end of the day, get the best youth, coast to coast, the best 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds, and 13, 14, 15. And we become our own academy. We got to develop these kids, but we need professionals to teach them. It doesn't take a magic formula. We just gotta get our own blueprint that it's Canada football, and I mean football, the beautiful game, and not the other game. That should be called handball. I don't know why they call it football, but anyhow, that's another thing, another story. But our game is football, and Canada could become a power in CONCACAF. I believe that.
Carmen, lastly, a tip to the youngsters out there. You told me something on our show not too long ago that you would take a ball, hit it against the wall, you'd play with yourself on the field, you would practice and practice. What would you say to the youngsters here in Canada today that they need to do to get to where you were at and live the dream that you lived?
Yeah, I talked about the leaders, the coaches doing their job as far as developing the players, but the players have to have the passion and the love. I mean, my passion and love from day one was to become a professional soccer footballer, and I did. I realized my dream. So I say to the young Canadian kids that if your dream is to play in the World Cup, if your dream is to be in the Olympics, like the St. Clair, I say a woman that made this country proud as a football country, because she's a fierce Canadian. That's the page we gotta take from the Christine St. Clair, and a male footballer doesn't come to my mind. Carmine Marcantonio, because I was that fierce competitor, and I loved. I had the passion for the game, and you gotta practice, practice, practice. The best coach is the wall. My best coach was the wall, because as a young boy, I would spend hours heading the ball against the wall, kicking against the wall. Just become familiar with the ball to the point that the ball becomes an extension of yourself. And that's when you make it as a professional eventually.
Well said. Last thing is this. You've got some family here. What would you like to say about the family that's come out to support you here tonight?
Well, without them, I don't think I would I've accomplished what I did. First and foremost, my mom and dad will not be here because of health issues. My dad is 88, mom is 81. But it was my dad that instilled in me that passion for the game, for the Juventus, and since I remember, because of his passion, I became passionate about the game. So I want to thank them, and then my kids will be here. Sarah, my daughter, is teaching in England, but in London, England, but will be here with the spirit, and I owe it to them, and first and foremost to my wife, Geraldine. She's the rock, the anchor of my family, and we've known each other for now close to 40 years, and I think I gotta thank them. And the other group I gotta thank is special people. The Toronto Azzurri will be here to honor me. I feel very humble because these are people that I grew up with, people that share the same passion, that of football. And the Bobby Arushi, the Mario Borsado, and all the Ivan Perusco, since I've known since they were 14, I was 14, they were young as me. And they're here tonight, so I want to acknowledge their presence because we share that one passion that makes us brotherhood. And that's the brotherhood of football. And they're brothers, they're my brother, my friends.
Carmine Marcantonio, congratulations. Long overdue, I might add, and welcome to the Hall of Fame, my man.
Thank you, Anthony, and keep up the good work. We need people like you the media to support football, soccer in this country, because that's the only way people like you, but we gotta do also our due diligence to get the media involved and give them a reason to talk about football, the real football, the beautiful game.
Thank you, Carmine Marcantonio, class act.